Today, I'll be sharing about Seah Kim Joo, the artist who not only transformed traditional batik into fine art, but also brought this uniquely Southeast Asian visual language to the skies through his collaboration with Singapore Airlines. His work shows how art can shape cultural identity and even become part of a nation's tourism story. Seah Kim Joo was born in Singapore in 1939 but grew up in Terengganu. This environment exposed him early to the traditional process of batik clothmaking. Over time, this early exposure developed into a lifelong artistic direction. He eventually became known as one of the region's most influential batik painters. Although Seah learned batik informally in Terengganu, he later returned to Singapore to study formally at the Nanyang Academy of Fine Arts in 1959. After graduating, he went back to Malaysia and traveled along the East Coast to master batik techniques from local craftsmen. This back and forth between Singapore and Malaysia shaped both his skills and his artistic identity. Before we look at Seah's artistic development, it's important to understand what batik painting actually is. As a fabric dyeing technique, batik has ancient origins. Early versions of the batik craft are found in China, India, Japan, and elsewhere. Some art historians believe that batik was introduced to Java from China in the Tang dynasty, possibly by Chinese traders and settlers. Batiks are produced by a wax-resist dyeing process. Early craftsmen also used starch, glue, and other substances instead of wax. The fabrics have included silk, muslin, and other woven materials. The artist must prepare the cloth by thoroughly washing, drying, softening, and then stretching it on a frame. He then may make a sketch of the composition on the cloth to guide the application of melted wax. The hot liquid wax mixture is applied by two basic tools. One is a Chuah Thean Teng, a small metal receptacle with a narrow tube or spout, through which wax is poured to form lines, dots, and fine designs. The other is a brush, which may be of varied shape and use. One of Seah's biggest influences was the Malaysian artist Chuah Thean Teng, also known as the father of batik painting. Chuah was the first to show that batik could be used for fine art, not just textiles. Seah became an ardent follower of his work. This blending of traditional craft and modern art reflected the Nanyang desire to create a uniquely Southeast Asian artistic expression. While batik was widely practiced as a craft for clothing or ceremonial cloth, turning it into fine art was controversial at first. Critics argued that painting on fabric wasn't as serious as traditional mediums like oil or watercolor. Batik is also technically demanding. The wax-resist technique leaves little room for error, unlike paper or canvas. Artists like Chuah and later Seah challenged these ideas. By bringing contemporary themes into batik, they asserted a regional identity and experimented with scale and subject matter. Over time, their works gained recognition, proving that batik could indeed be a legitimate medium for fine art. Seah's artworks focus heavily on people and their daily activities. His batik paintings portrayed everyday life, market scenes, fishermen, villagers working. His warm color palette and rhythmic lines reflect the Nanyang style, which is all about capturing Southeast Asian landscapes, cultures, and experiences. Seah's talent brought him early recognition. He won first prize in the Malayan Federation Open Art Competition for 2 consecutive years. His works were also featured in the Singapore Pavilion in 1970, and one of his paintings was selected for Singapore's stamp series in 1972. These achievements show how his batik works were recognized both artistically and nationally. Seah's most important artwork is Malayan Life, a massive 5-panel batik mural created in 1968. It was originally commissioned for the lobby of Malaysia Hotel in Singapore, where it welcomed guests with scenes of local life. Today, the mural is part of the La Salle College of the Arts collection and remains one of the largest and most iconic batik works ever produced. In Malayan Life, Seah constructs a nostalgic vision of the Nanyang world. The warm orange glow across the panels resembles a setting sun, symbolic of the end of an era, since the term Malayan was already fading from use by 1968. We see villagers stretching out their hands to touch and smell drying fish, and a young boy bending over a durian, capturing the full sensory experience of rural life. On the 4th and 5th panels, Seah includes the Dayaks, an indigenous community from Borneo. One Dayak figure plays a musical instrument while others prepare to hunt by the riverside. Birds appear throughout the piece, pigeons, egrets, and even an owl, while other animals like an ox and deer enrich the natural environment. It is an enchanting painting where everyday rural life becomes harmonious and alive. Through works like Malayan Life, Seah helped transform batik from a traditional craft into a modern art form. He pushed the boundaries of the medium not only through large mural-scale pieces and expressive, complex scenes, but also by experimenting with abstract batik paintings. In these abstract works, Seah explored color, form, and texture in ways that moved beyond narrative representation, showing that batik could convey mood, energy, and modern artistic ideas. Together, his figurative and abstract pieces showcased how traditional batik techniques could be adapted for contemporary art. In the late 1960s and through the 1970s, Singapore Airlines began positioning itself not just as an airline, but as a cultural representative of the young nation. During this period, SIA commissioned Seah to produce a series of artworks depicting various destinations that the airline flew to. These designs were used in the airline's promotional materials, most famously on the highly collectible Seah playing cards. Each card design blended Seah's Batik-inspired aesthetic with imagery representing global destinations. In summary, Seah Kim Joo modernized Batik, expressed the Nanyang spirit, and helped bring Southeast Asian art to global audiences. Through his collaboration with Singapore Airlines, he quite literally brought Batik art to the skies, shaping how travelers first encountered Singapore's culture and creativity. His legacy is one where tradition, fine art, cultural identity, and tourism intersect seamlessly. As art patron and journalist Frank Sullivan once said of Seah, "The whole world is open to him as the exotic master of Batik painting."